It was a warm Sunday morning, and the sun poured through the large windows of our little countryside kitchen. I had always loved that room the most in our home. It was where conversations sparked, meals were shared, and stories unfolded. My name is Rachel Miller, and I've lived in Springfield, Ohio, for nearly 12 years. After my husband David and I got married 6 years ago, I became stepmom to his teenage son, Kyle. Kyle was 12 when I met him, an awkward, shy boy with sandy hair and a tendency to disappear into his video games for hours at a time. Now at 18, he had grown into a responsible, intelligent, and kind young man who was preparing to leave for college in a few months. While our bond had never replaced the one he shared with his birth mother, we had formed our own connection over the years, one of mutual respect, understanding, and a few shared inside jokes. That morning, I had gone grocery shopping early to beat the summer heat. The local farmer's market was bursting with produce, and I couldn't resist picking up more than I had planned, especially the cantaloupes. They were big, ripe, and sweet-smelling. I bought 4 and carried them back with the rest of my haul, eager to surprise Kyle and David with a fresh fruit salad. As I stepped inside, still holding the bags, I called out, "Kyle, can you help me with these groceries?" His voice came from upstairs. "Be right there." I began unpacking the bags, placing the peaches in the fruit bowl, the tomatoes in a colander to rinse, and then setting the melons on the counter. They were perfectly round and golden, their skins patterned like a honeycomb. I smiled to myself, imagining the look on Kyle's face. He had a thing for cantaloupe, always fighting his dad for the last slice. Just as I was reaching into the cupboard for the cutting board, Kyle walked in. He wore a faded hoodie and plaid pajama pants, his hair tousled from sleep. "Wow," he said, eyes going wide. "Those are huge." I turned, laughing at the way he stared at the counter. "Aren't they beautiful? The lady at the market said they're the sweetest batch of the season." He blinked, clearly realizing how his words sounded. A flush crept up his cheeks. "I meant the melons. I mean the fruit. You know what I meant." I grinned, playing along. "Relax, I know. They're pretty eye-catching, huh?" He shook his head, a smile tugging at the corner of his mouth. "You always catch me off guard when you joke like that." "You walked into that one," I teased, slicing open the first melon. The rich scent filled the kitchen, and Kyle moved closer, watching with genuine interest. "Can I help?" he asked. "Sure. Grab that mixing bowl and a spoon. We'll make a proper fruit salad." The two of us worked in rhythm, peeling and slicing cantaloupe, adding blueberries and strawberries, and squeezing a bit of lime on top. Somewhere between the chopping and laughing, I looked over and realized how grown-up Kyle had become. "You know," I said gently, "I can't believe you're leaving in just a few weeks. Feels like you were 12 yesterday, chasing the dog around the backyard." Kyle gave me a soft smile. "I was a pain back then, huh?" "Not at all. Just quiet. It took you a while to open up." He paused, then said, "You made it easier. I was scared when Dad remarried. I thought you'd try to replace my mom, but you never did. You just fit in." That meant more to me than he probably realized. I didn't respond right away, just reached out and gave his shoulder a squeeze. "You're going to do great at college, Kyle." "I know it." He nodded, and we returned to preparing breakfast. Later that day, after David had come downstairs and devoured half the fruit salad, Kyle offered to help me take the food scraps to the compost bin. We stood outside by the garden, the sun warming our skin, tossing peels and rinds into the wooden container. "So, Mom," Kyle said, then stopped. I turned. "Yeah." He rubbed the back of his neck. "I mean, Rachel, it's still weird calling you that. But I just wanted to say thanks. For always being there. For letting me be me." "Of course," I said, feeling a lump in my throat. "I never wanted to change you, Kyle. I just wanted you to know you were safe here." He nodded. "And for the record, I still think about the first time I told you I liked your melons by accident. I wanted to disappear." We both burst out laughing. "It's a memory now," I said. "One of the many I'll keep when you're away at college." As the weeks passed, we kept making small memories. Game nights, grocery trips, talks over tea. When it came time to load up the car for college, I stood at the front porch, blinking back tears. Kyle walked over and wrapped me in a tight hug. "I'll miss your fruit salad," he said. I chuckled. "And I'll miss your breakfast jokes." He pulled back and said, "Take care of Dad. And the melons." I playfully swatted his arm. "Go before I cry again." And just like that, he drove away into the next chapter of his life. In the kitchen later, I saw the cantaloupe bowl in the fridge. The sight made me smile, because it wasn't just about fruit or a silly moment in the kitchen. It was about how humor and kindness had helped build a bond stronger than biology. Sometimes it's the little surprises, like the look on someone's face when they see their favorite treat, that show you how far you've come together.